Thank you for staying with us live here on Storm Center. I'm Justin Michaels. This is the Weather Channel. We're bringing you live right now to Cook County, Texas. Valley View is the closest town to where we're standing, and this is the community where 7 people died not even 48 hours ago. One of those people died right behind us here in this debris over here. And this is a community that's mourning a lot on this Memorial Day holiday. Of course, Memorial Day, a solemn holiday for the obvious reasons of remembering those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our safety in the United States of America. But this community is going to remember Memorial Day for different reasons moving forward. Of course, chief among them, the 7 people who died here, but also the loss of property and so many people here needing to clean up. Let's talk to Jeff Collinsworth, because, Jeff, you have an amazing story. You tell us you saw a flash off in the distance looking off to the west, got a call from a friend, ran into your house, and that's when all hell broke loose.
Yeah, it was literally just seconds. I mean, if you're not in place, you don't have any time. I got in the bathroom, just in time as the wind was trying to pull the door out of my hands with my dog, and we sat down in the corner, put some towels over our head, and I was holding on as it was trying to rip it out, and the house just started shaking back and forth violently, and you could just hear the wind noise like you were right in it, and I could hear things busting and breaking, but you don't know what it's like on the outside. And I didn't get too scared until I started bouncing up and down in the floor, and I felt the house trying to lift up, and at that point, I thought there was a real good chance I was going to make it through this, and I just wanted it to be over and just prayed that I'd just survive it. And you have no concept of time, when you're in that either. It's reality, maybe it's a couple of minutes, I don't know, but it feels like an eternity. And then when it goes quiet, you're afraid to come out. You don't know when to come out, when to open the door, and what you're going to see and what's going to happen. So eventually when I did open the door and came out, and you're kind of in shock and your brain doesn't really work right. You're overloaded and it's hard to concentrate on anything. And I was just trying to survey the damage and see what was going on and what was left, hole in the roof, water leaking in everywhere, just stuff blown everywhere, broken all over the place. And it's like a bomb or a war zone. And I heard hollering and screaming out here, but it was in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I thought it was somebody calling for a dog or pet or somebody, and I didn't immediately think anything of it, plus I wasn't thinking well. And then I realized it was the neighbor over here screaming, and I noticed that their house was gone. There was no house left. I said, oh my God, this is awful, So I got myself together, grabbed a flashlight, and I went over there to him, and the gentleman that lives there was standing up. His arm was broken.
Jeff, let's walk over here while we're talking about that. So you saw them over here?
Yeah, they were over here in the rubble right here. The gentleman that was screaming for help was standing up. He had a broken right arm. His head was bleeding. He had glass in it, and the flesh was pretty tore up on it. He had a pretty good laceration here, and he was bleeding, and he said his mother, help her. She's pinned, and we looked down, and there's a lady pinned. Her arm was pinned completely under some debris, 2x4s and stuff. And I tried to lift it. I couldn't lift it. And the neighbor knew my name, and he hollered at me, Jeff, are you good? And I said, no, we're not good. We need help over here. So he came over, and we lifted it up. We got it off of her, and tried to take care of her. I couldn't tell maybe she had broken ribs or something. I don't know. But then he started pointing us further, and that's where his father was a little further down, and he was laying down flat like this. His right arm was broken, his right leg was broken, pinned underneath him, and I think he had internal bleeding. He was in really bad shape, critical shape. And they were cold, I called 911. It was hard to get through, self-service not working, and the systems were overloaded. I got a hold of Denton County. They took all my information, said that they're trying to get help to us. Meantime, I went back, got water, I got blankets, pillows, stuff to try to cover them up. They were cold, and it was raining on us, not hard, but it was raining, and they were in shock too. And I know 2 of them were critical, and covered them up, try to give them comfort as best I could. And there's just nothing you can do. I mean, there's nothing you can do. I know I couldn't move them,
And one of them did pass away.
Yes. The bad thing is, and it's just the situation. I had no concept of time. By the time I got out of here, it was about 3 a.m. I know the tornado hit about 10:40. And so I estimate I spent a good 2.5 hours there with them myself, with no emergency, no help. And we couldn't get anybody out here. And then come to find out, nobody could get out here. Power lines were down, trees were down, everything on both sides, and everything was impassable. So emergency services couldn't get in. And then when they finally got in and we had an army of people helping them and pulling them out, that's when I left. I knew that they got this. It was a team of people. And I left and started trying to gather a few things to get out of here myself. And as we were leaving, you know, my brother-in-law was like, "Don't look," and he was covered up by the ambulance right there. He didn't make it, and I was worried about him not making it, and you know, I just was putting my hand on him, comforting him, and telling him emergency services are coming, and that's what I kept telling all of them, and they just kept asking me, when are they coming, when are they coming? And I was like, they're trying to get here, you know, and it makes you feel bad about, you know, your stuff and your material possessions when people lost their lives, you know.
Jeff Collinsworth, we're grateful for your story, and thank you for taking a few minutes with us here on the Weather Channel. That can't be easy to recount, but we do appreciate it. It really paints the picture of what the chaos was like, and we're grateful for you. Thank you, sir.
Right,
Stay strong and encouraged.
Thank you.
Amazing to hear firsthand accounts of what it was like in the moments after the tornado, less than 48 hours ago. The Weather Channel is back live after this.
Wendy's fries are always hot and crispy.